AI is changing consumer behavior. More people are using tools like ChatGPT than ever before to find businesses, products, and services to buy. Therefore, marketing also needs to change to reflect this. So what does a modern digital marketing campaign that actually works in this new environment actually look like? And to answer one of the most common questions we get when we talk about this stuff on our channel, can only big businesses win in this new era? Well, today we're going to take a look behind the scenes of a digital marketing campaign run by the team here at Exposure Ninja that has, in the words of the business owner involved, had a fantastic impact on our business. And he's not joking. In the first 9 months of this campaign, it generated almost 4,000 leads. Monthly organic conversions, that's those that they don't pay for advertising for, rose from 60 to 300 a month. And we generated a 363% increase in Google ad conversions using AI. And this is a multi-channel campaign that worked across search and AI search, website development, email marketing, and paid channels. The business involved is an elderly bathroom fitting company, but the industry doesn't matter. This is a playbook that any business can follow that is both worried about the impact of AI on their digital marketing and also excited by the opportunity. So we're going to take a look at each of the different channels in this campaign and how they contributed to this incredible growth. AI is undoubtedly transforming digital marketing, but that doesn't mean that we have to throw everything out and just focus on getting our business recommended in ChatGPT. At the time of recording this, Google last night released their latest earnings report, and we watched this closely to see how AI is impacting traditional search. And guess what? Google's advertising revenue from search is continuing to grow at double digits. This is because people are still searching Google and they're still buying from Google. So when we're designing a digital marketing campaign, we need to both make sure that we're catering for the current situation, but also with an eye on the future. So let's take a look at exactly how we do this. Just as we always do, we started with the website, because whether we're driving traffic from traditional search, advertising, or ChatGPT, fundamentally, all of your customers are going to eventually land on your website. So if your website isn't performing well, all of that other effort is wasted. It means nothing. A mistake that people always make is they focus on the shiny, exciting stuff, the traffic piece, but they don't focus on what that traffic is driving to, the website. We worked with this business not just on the implementation of the website, but also thinking about how the business is being positioned, what the key messages are, what we're actually asking people to do on the website. It's really important in an AI-focused world that your business is positioned really clearly, you know what you stand for, and the key messages that you want to communicate are simple enough that when an AI tool is talking to its user, it can communicate those messages very clearly to them. And that really is the foundation of any website improvement work. So we get that done first. We then got to work making sure that the website reflected all of this stuff. When we started work with this business, we noticed that they had duplicated service pages that were cannibalizing traffic from each other. We noticed that they had very weak calls to action, like it wasn't really clear and attractive what people who landed on the website should do next. The navigation was confusing for both users and potentially crawling bots, and the site really wasn't great on mobile. So we fixed it up. We added a clearer menu navigation structure. We worked on sorting out the site structure to make sure the pages were really clear. We added clear and compelling calls to action, loads of social proof, and then we rewrote the copy and clarified the messaging. Really important for both people and AI search bots. In a world moving towards AI-first marketing, it's really important to retain the human element of your business. And look at exactly how we did this on this website, making sure that we had visuals on the site that built trust and confidence and showed the people behind the business. We wanted to make it really clear what visitors were going to get when they worked with this company. And again, that clarity of message is really important in a world where an AI tool might be communicating this on your behalf to its user. And we made sure that all of the information that a user might possibly need is included on the site, including the key questions that might stop them from converting. The website is foundational to anything else that you do online. So with that website foundation in place, we can now focus on driving more traffic to it. So let's start with how we targeted search traffic and AI search traffic. through tools like ChatGPT. And Exposure Ninja is one of the world's pioneers at getting our clients recommended in tools like ChatGPT. We also literally wrote the book on how to get ranked in Google and Google AI mode as well. So hopefully we know a thing or two about this area. The first thing to get right is the content and the structure of the content. So when we started analyzing this site, we realized that there are lots of pages that were cannibalizing and duplicating each other. And just like my wife, AI tools seem to appreciate order and structure. So we had to make sure that the website was structured properly. We also did this for the business's blog content, making sure that we had content covering each of the different topics and that we were using a topic cluster approach to make sure we covered each of those topics in lots of detail with lots of different angles. This means that whether someone's typing a question in on Google or they're asking ChatGPT, that search tool can find the answers to its questions on the Aged Care Bathrooms website. How do we know what topics to cover? Well, through customer call research and talking to the team. The team know their customers well. They know the sorts of questions that they ask. So we could use this insight to structure the content on their website. Now, both regular search and AI search also likes authority. These tools like to see that the businesses they recommend are well known and well respected around the internet. Firstly, this helps with organic ranking because if you're generating links, that pushes you up in regular web search. But for these AI tools that are ingesting vast amounts of information online, they're much more likely to recommend you if they keep seeing you popping up on all these different places online. One of the ways we did this for this client was to run a study using YouGov. There is a particular issue that this business is really passionate about, so we ran a study to find out how widespread it is. This got coverage in the press, earning us lots of links and mentions. We then took it a step forward by actually organizing a petition to the government to change their policy in this area, again generating more press interest. Now, this not only generates links and marketing buzz for the business, but it also shows what this business cares about. And if you can find an issue that really resonates with your customer whilst tapping into the DNA of the company, that's a really great way to connect with your audience. Okay, so what happened? Well, one of the results of all of this work is that ChatGPT started recommending this business more often. Now, because we published so much information about what aged care does, including things like wet rooms, we appear for multiple different product-related searches when people are asking ChatGPT for recommendations. Now, notice that ChatGPT's answer is actually pulling specific information and recommending it to the customer. And that comes back to being really clear about your positioning and the key messages that you want to communicate. Because we decided these messages up front and made sure they were really clearly communicated on the website and in all the content, when ChatGPT talks about the business, it uses those clear messages. If you're not crystal clear about what you want these AI tools to say, they could say anything. Of course, this work also helps with regular search, i.e. Google. Look at the increase in visibility in the search results. So from July 2023, this website was ranking for around 2,000 keywords. By July 2025, 2 years later, that had increased almost 4x to just under 8,000 keywords. Keywords ranking in the top 5 positions on Google had gone from 90 to 628. And total keywords on page 1 had gone from around 220 to almost 1,200. Now, if you're watching this thinking, this looks pretty good, I'd like some of this for my business, then great, the team at Exposure Ninja can help you. This is what we do all day, every day. And we are world leaders at it, if we do say so ourselves. If you're interested in working with us, you can request a free digital marketing review. All you need to do is go to exposureninja.com/review. That's exposureninja.com/review to request your review. We'll take a look at your current visibility, your digital marketing as a whole, and we'll map you out a 6 to 12 month prioritized action plan that you can follow to significantly increase the results your website is generating for you using tools like AI search visibility. This service is completely free. There is no catch. The only problem is not everybody is eligible, so you do need to apply for this at exposureninja.com/review. Not everybody is eligible, so please don't head to our Google reviews page and leave these horrible reviews about how we promised you a review and we didn't deliver one. Not everybody is eligible. I hope we're clear about that. I love you. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about pay-per-click. We used 2 main channels, Google Ads and Meta Ads. Okay, let's talk about Google Ads and a model that we found works really well for businesses in the current environment. This business had tried to run Google Ads before and they'd found it really difficult to make it work, so they'd ended up turning it off. We took on the campaign, we rebuilt and restructured it based on the structure that we find tends to work really well. We also built dedicated landing pages. This is so important with Google Ads being so competitive now. You really can't be driving people to just generic pages. You have to drive them to dedicated pages pages that match the intent of the ad. We also used some of Google's AI ad creation functionality, and we integrated email marketing with their HubSpot account in a really nifty way, but we're going to come back to that later on. There's lots of technical detail about how we made the Google Ads campaign work so well for this business that, to be honest, is beyond the scope of this video. But one of the things that I want to leave you with is when you're really clear about your positioning and the key messages that you want to communicate through your ads, that can really help your ad account performance. We talked earlier about structuring the content on the website, and structuring your ad campaign is just as important. This gives you really granular focus over the areas that are performing well and the areas that aren't performing well, so you can dial up and down as you need to. And we ran ads across Google's platforms, including YouTube, to make sure we were constantly showing up for the types of customers that we really knew were going to be great for this business. In just 12 months, we generated over 6,000 leads from Google Ads using this approach. And remember, this was a channel that they'd previously given up on when they were self-managing because they just couldn't make it work. Now, I'm not going to lie, Google Ads can be really expensive, so you need to give the platform as much information as you possibly can. We integrated it with HubSpot so we could give it as much data from the CRM as possible, so it could target the ads at exactly the customers that we wanted to reach. Now, cost per acquisition usually moves in the opposite direction. As you scale the campaign, cost per acquisition often goes up. But because we were giving the ad account so much data and information, the more we ran the ads, the more it learned. So we're able to maintain a CPA fairly steady. We talked a little bit about dedicated PPC landing pages, and they are so important. We made sure that every different topic we were advertising against, we had a dedicated landing page for. And then on the back end, we integrated really smart segmented email marketing sequences that would follow up with these customers about the specific topics they were most interested in. Which leads us nicely onto email. Now, email is a really important component of a campaign like this because it allows you to increase the return on investment of all the other channels that you're driving. It's really important for any business that's marketing online these days to collect as much information about customers and potential customers as you possibly can, and that includes people who have landed on your website but aren't ready to make a purchase yet. To get as many of these people as possible, we built dedicated lead magnets. These are things that are attractive to people who aren't ready to make a purchase yet, things like buyer's guides and brochures. Now, I mentioned earlier that we're using meta ads, but I didn't cover it in the ad section. That's because we actually used it to help grow the email list. So we ran meta ads in parallel with the Google ad campaign, targeting people at different stages of the buyer journey. We'd then drive these people to landing pages to do things like download the brochure. Once they downloaded the brochure, we could tell that they were interested in buying from us, and we also then got to capture their details so we could then follow up with them. This had the dual purpose of allowing people to raise their hands to say that they were interested, whilst also building out their email list even further. And email is another area where AI is potentially moving customers' expectations. If we're used to talking to ChatGPT and getting really personal answers to our questions every time, signing up for a company's email list and just getting generic mail shots that are just completely irrelevant feels more and more outdated. So email marketing is more than ever about segmentation, about personalization, making sure that you're sending the right information to the right customers about the stuff that they're most interested in. So what we did is segment everybody who's coming into the aged care world as much as we possibly could. So when people were signing up for their tips and support, i.e. newsletter, but not called a newsletter because no one likes a newsletter, we asked them what they were most interested in. This allowed us to then give them a customized journey. So we'd send them more emails about the stuff that they were interested in and no emails about the stuff that they weren't interested in. We also found that leads coming in from different sources had different expectations. So we segmented our lists based on where that person had come from. This allowed us to move them through a journey that felt right for them, whether they come from Google, whether they just landed on the website organically, or come from Facebook. All of this allowed us to drive significantly more leads through email marketing, which is an amazing channel because it actually costs you nothing to send out emails. And once these automations and segmentations are set up, they can run for years without any other intervention. In total, we built more than 10 different automated journeys, basically automations that people could go on based on where they came from and what they were most interested in. This offered a much better experience than just sending everyone into the same generic list and allowed us to get a 28% click-through rate, which is massive, almost 1 in 3 people clicking through on the emails that they received because they were relevant. We also sent out weekly email newsletters, and because we understood the customers and we had really clear messaging, even these weekly newsletters got great results. The CRM that this business was using on our recommendation was HubSpot, and we used the HubSpot data to then feed back into Google Ads to run better remarketing campaigns. We could see if those people weren't engaging with the ads or the emails. We then ran custom email sequences to those people who had maybe clicked on the ads but hadn't engaged, based on the objections that we knew they were most likely to have. So there you have it, a 4-pillar strategy to win in this new era of AI-focused digital marketing. This world is not just about optimizing for ChatGPT. Yes, that is really important, but you need to have everything else in place as well. The key to turning mentions and traffic into money is having a great website that performs well, and then having all of this segmentation and targeting and follow-up on the back end to turn those visitors into actual leads and eventually money. If you want help with implementing a digital marketing strategy like this for your business, you can contact the team at Exposure Ninja. Just request a free website and marketing review at exposureninja.com/review, or drop us a message through our website at exposureninja.com. Until next time, see you soon.